I guess my screen is visible, right? Anyone can confirm.
Visual, you can see.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon, all. Welcome to Kadapa MuleSoft Meetup. Today's topic is going to be Azure Event Hub integration with MuleSoft from API to events. MuleSoft meets Azure Event Hubs. Okay. So, without wasting any time, we'll start now introduce Kadapa Meetup leaders. So, as of now, we have myself and Vinay Kumar is a Kadapa Meetup leaders. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Vandana Gowda. I'm working as a senior consultant at EWGCs. I am also a MuleSoft mentor as well as a MuleSoft Meetup leader for Kadapa as well as Goa. And we have Vinay Kumar. So Vinay Kumar also MuleSoft mentor, and he is also MuleSoft mentor as well as meetup leader for Kadapa and Goa. If you have any doubt regarding Kadapa MuleSoft meetup, regarding recordings, regarding if you want to be interested in speaker for upcoming meetup, please let me know either me or Vinay Kumar, either on Slack or LinkedIn. So we are active in LinkedIn, so you can connect us and let us know. Okay. And without wasting any time, so let me introduce our speaker. So we have Gopal. Gopal, maybe he already spoke our meetup like Goa previously, and this is first time he is speaking for Kadapa MuleSoft meetup, right? So Gopal, can you please introduce yourself to our
Yeah, thanks, Vandana. Thanks for time. And thank you everyone who is taking time joining on Saturday, second off especially. So, okay. So myself, Gopal Bhumi Reddy, currently working as a technical architect at DXC Technology. Overall 14 years of IT experience and close to 7 years into MuleSoft. Another 7 years into Oracle Server OSB. Again, it's a integration tool. So I'm also and I'm what to say?
certified?
Okay, yeah, yeah, okay. Uh, we'll move on. Yeah, next slide. Or you want me to? Can I share my screen?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, you
easy
can
for
share
me.
your
Yeah.
screen. Yeah. Let me give
Screen.
access.
Okay.
I guess I gave an access.
Okay. Share screen. Entire screen. Can you see
Meantime,
my
I
screen?
given, yeah, yeah, yes, it's visible.
Yeah. Okay.
If you have any questions, please ask to Gopal. I given everyone presenter access so that you can unmute yourself and you can ask directly, or either you can use question and answer tab. Okay.
Yeah. Um, Today agenda is about what is Azure Event Hub and what is required to use the Azure Event Hub, and then we'll explain about Azure Event Hub connector, what is required to connect, and then we'll do a demo on that. Okay. So Azure Event Hub is highly scalable event streaming platform to process the million events per second. Okay, and this is for real-time integrations. We'll use mostly in the IoT data, logs, telemetry. Okay, and this is partition-based architecture for the high volume of data processing through parallel processing and then the high throughput. Okay, and this is supports the multiple consumers. You will understand later in the demo that what is this multiple consumers. Okay, it's single event will be processed by the multiple consumers. So common use cases for Azure Event Hub, IoT devices data. So generally IoT device with telemetry is collect millions of sensor data okay, and then process it in a real time. Okay, so let's say if you have a device where it is monitoring the temperature, and if you want to do it for like, every 5 minutes, 1 hour, and if it's one device is like, if you do it for every 5 minutes, if you have like and like, let's say like, 100 200 like, number of devices which is monitoring the temperature, if you want to process the data, huge values of the data is flowing, right? So that kind of scenarios we will use more into like, event hubs. Okay, and then we have something like, application audit logging. So I think who are working currently on the MuleSoft, like, what is application logs, audit loggings, and that will be used for like, platform monitoring and troubleshooting purpose, right? And then real-time business units. Okay, let's say if you have like, more like, updates keep on going, right? Like, say status changes, shipment tracking, user activity events, and then streaming analytics. And if you like, feed the data into Power BI or Azure Stream Analytics, Databricks, Microsoft Fabric, everything, this is help for the analytic purpose. And this just want to give a comparison between the what is like, Azure Event Hub, and then what is Azure Service Bus topic. If you look at this, like, primary purpose, this is event streaming, and this topic is like, enterprise messaging. Okay, so down the line you will understand like, what is streaming. Okay, and the message pattern is like, the stream of events, and whereas topic is publish subscribing. So when publish subscribing, right, when a client publish a message to the like, any messaging, and then subscriber will consume it, right? So here once you consume it, the message will deleted from there, but in the event streaming the message still lying there only. Okay, so then it will not duplicate to like, further processing, because of it has a like, marking on that. And the throughput, it's like, it is capable of like, processing the million of events per second, whereas like, Azure Bus, it is like, lower throughput. Okay, and then the data storage. So as I said earlier, so in the publish subscriber model, so it will deleted the message right here. So in the data storage perspective, it's a retain the events for replay. Okay, let's say you process the data, okay, successfully, and after some time or a couple of days you want to like, process the same data again for some so and so reason, you can do that. But whereas in this topic, the message will be deleted, so you can't replay that message. As like, we are message size, if you talk about message size, so as it is like, more transactions are happening, right? So it is optimized for the small event of streams, whereas in the topic it can have the large ones. Okay, business use cases, we already earlier slide we talked about like, IoT, telemetry, audit loggings. Here is like, the payments and the notification ones.
Gopal, sorry for the disturbance. Can you please click that hide down?
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
So the, yeah, I'll told, right, the business best use case is like, telemetry, logs, then IoT, but whereas in the topic it is like, payments, notifications, or others. Oh, 1 second. Yeah. So today's demo purpose, so we'll take one business problem, we'll use that as a like, reference, and we'll go further there. Okay, so for easy understanding, as we are from like, MuleSoft, we know like, MuleSoft application logs, audit logs, right? So when, especially in the audit logs, right, when user action, right, it generate an events. Let's say if you logged into any one platform, and if you go and create any asset, okay, if you go and stop the API, if you go and apply the any policy, so for every action there is a event is generated that will be stored. So in some point of time, as part of like, audit, if someone want to know that, okay, now who deleted this API, or like, who applied this policy, you will come to know that. Okay, this kind of audit logs will be used by the different teams for the different purpose. So as earlier told, like same message, like the will be used by the multiple consumers. So for this use case we will take that, like three consumers, consumer one, two, three. Let's assume that consumer one is a security monitoring. Okay, that use of it is like detect the suspicious logins. Okay, and then second consumer is analytic dashboard. Okay, so just want to, like do count of active users and the, like to do the metrics. And then audit repository. Okay, so the purpose is, like store the audit trials and complaints reporting. So this is, like high level sequence diagram wherein, like for demo purpose, so we will send a event from postman, it will go to the API. Okay, so what it will do, it will send the event to the Azure event. Okay, so Azure event, what it does, like here we told that consumer one, consumer two, consumer three, right? Security monitoring, analytic dashboard, audit repository. So message is same, one message, in sense, like we Mule API sent one event to the Azure event hub. Okay, that same event is sent to the three consumer groups. Okay, you see here security monitoring consumer group, analytic dashboard consumer group, and then audit repository one. So same event, it's sent to the three systems, and the, sorry, three consumer groups. Okay, so as we discussed, one of the point that, like so in either topic or queue, so once the message is consumed, so it will go away, right? So here is, like let's say when client sends a message comes to the queue, consumer reads, the message is removed. Okay, whereas in event hub, so event, like it arrives, it's stored into the partition, consumer reads it, and the checkpoint is updated. Okay, so here is couple of points. Here is, like event hub retain the events, but consumer track their own position using the checkpoint. So as earlier told, generally if there is a message in the queue, once you consume it, so it will get deleted automatically based on the acknowledgement, right? If it's there, if it is there still exists, so it is a chance that, like it will get reprocessed again. But in the event hub, so the consumer tracks their own position using the checkpoints. With the help of checkpoints, the message will be marked and it won't be processed again. Okay, and events will not be reprocessed automatically until unless a consumer do it, like intentionally. Okay, so this is why we called event hub is, like event streaming platform, while service bus is a messaging platform. Okay, so here we mentioned that event hub behaves more like logs that consumer can replay it, where service bus behaves more like a queue that deliver and remove the messages. Okay, so generally when we say redelivery, in the sense that we will do, so, like in the case of failure scenarios, let's say you consume a message from a queue and you try to send to the target system. If target system fails, sorry, my bad. So when target is unavailable, then you'll try to reprocess it, right? So and so reason only you are doing it in a error scenario. But whereas an event replay is about reprocessing historical data that was already successfully delivered. So in the event hub, what is, like you have sent the data, but you want to do it again one more time, like to have some scenario you want to execute. If you want to process again, you can do that. That is called, we are doing saying, sorry, a replay. So the event hub setup, so we need, like namespaces, event hubs, storage accounts, containers, and then we need a access control for the same. Okay, so before actual demo, we'll go to here. So Azure, so I have my trial account created, so a couple of features are limited. So you can also have a, like trial account, sorry, Microsoft account. Okay, you can create and you can use it. Okay, this is limited features, but you can, for demo, sorry, you can for learning purpose you can do that. Okay, so as mentioned here, uh, we need namespaces, right? So you can go to like microsoft.in, where you can google sorry, you can google the microsoft events, and you'll get a microsoft website. There you register it with your personal account, and then from there your account is get activated. So from there you can log into the portal.azure.com here. Okay, so go search here. Okay, event. Okay, so click on events up. So in enterprise level, you no need to follow all these steps, especially on the Azure event portal, in actual enterprise projects, right? So you if you are a mule developer, you will be provided these all the details in hand to you. Okay, you just need to configure your connector. Okay, you no need to create all this stuff. Just for demo purpose, so I'm just helping you to understand this concept. Okay, so I've already created, but we'll create now again. Okay, so once you search for event hubs. Okay, you will land into the event hub page. Click on create. So by default, subscription is defaulted to me because it's a trial account. If it is enterprise, you will have multiple ones. Okay, here we have an existing one. I'll use that one and say here namespaces. Let's say Kadapa meetup. Okay. So here I given the namespace as a Kadapa meetup. Okay, the region is Central India. Pricing tier is basic, and then we'll click on review and create. Okay, so it will do validating internally, and it will now validation succeeded. Now will enable the it will enable the create button. So the deployment will do, and then it will create the namespace. Okay, within the namespace you need to create a event. Okay, so you will get the details here. So it is still loading. Once you will get an options go to resource, deployment is in progress. Yeah, so namespace is created. Within the namespace you need a event hub. Okay, so now click on event hub. Okay, I'll say event hub. Okay, and then we'll leave the other options as a default. Just create. Okay, event hub also it got created. Okay, and now we have to create containers. Okay, storage containers. Go to search for storage accounts. So we have existing one. We'll click on create. Then primary services BLAB storage. Okay, so this is where the events will get stored here. We'll select standard one, review, create. It is getting created. Okay, go to resources, go to data storage, and then we have created like container, sorry, storage place, right? Storage, within the storage you have to create the containers. Okay, so create add container, click on create. Okay, it got created. So now where is this here, right? So here we created a namespace, event hubs we created, storage accounts we created, containers we created, right? Now we need to provide the access to that, right? So go search here and click on app registrations, new registration. Okay, so here we're going to select single tenant only, default directory. Okay, click on register. Okay, so here you could see here the client ID, right? And then the tenant ID. No, so here you don't secret, right? Client ID is there, but client secret is not there, right? So you have to click on here, add a add a certificate or client secret, add a client secret, name it like, okay, just say add. Okay, now you see the value. Secret ID is just a ID to the like this Katpa meetup one. Okay, you have to pick the value only, not secret ID. Okay, so now we have created the client secret. So now we have to assign this like application to the exist the what we created the earlier one, like event hub and then storage. Okay, and then click on event hubs, go to this Kadpa meetup. Not here once again, event hubs, meetup, yeah, access control, add assignment. Here I'm going to add role assignment. So here into search for uh, full access for the Azure Event Hub data owner. Okay, Azure Event data owner, Azure Events data owner. Yeah, click that. Next, select members. Search for Kadapa one. Why it's not coming? App registrations, all applications. Okay, select review plus assign, review plus assign. So we did it for event hub, right? Now we have to do the same steps for the storage and containers. Okay, now go to container storage accounts. Okay, containers, access control, add, add a role assignment. Here you need to search for blub data owner. Okay, search for the right role. Storage, blub data owner. Yeah, allow full access. This one, select next, select the member, review, and assign. Okay, so with this, so we have done with, like, event hubs, storage accounts, containers, and access. Okay, now we'll go to Anypon Studio. So I already created a simple API, just like, you have a listener. Okay, you'll get the data here and send the event to the is Azure Event Hub, and the same will be consumed here. Okay, so but here I mentioned that, like, same data is consumed by multiple consumers, right? So because of the trial account, I couldn't create, like, multiple consumers, like, security monitoring dashboard repository. Okay, so in real time, if it is a like, enterprise account, so it will have the options. Okay, so we'll look into connector configuration. Okay, click on this. So as you see here, what is that? Yeah. All resources, you go here, Kadapa meetup, event hubs. No, I was about towards this one, app registration. Sorry. So client ID, oh sorry, yeah, client ID here, right? So yeah, we can try with this new one. Where is the client? First one, it is tenant ID. Okay, let's copy the tenant ID. And then client ID, copy the, oh, I didn't copy the secret. Uh, can it allow? Copy to clipboard. Okay, I think I should edit test connection. Okay, so I didn't think while creating this client secret, I should have copied. So we'll go with the existing details only. So I'll tell you. So, like, so tenant ID, once you go to application registrations, okay, app registration, right? So there you could see, um, there you could see client ID, client secret. Okay. Okay. Kadapa, yeah, so if you go here, so you see the tenant ID, you see client ID here. Earlier we created a client secret here, so all these details you get here: tenant ID, client secret, and the namespace, the name we created it, and the event hub. Okay, and then we selected okay, before that, so the connection type we selected is active directory authentication, and there is this ss authentication, but we selected the active directory authentication, and where we are going with token credential properties. Okay, so the first set of tokens credential properties still here, all these about for the event namespace. Okay, event hubs. Okay, the below one is for the container and the storage. Okay, same details we are repeating here just for the container purpose. Okay, so the same details. Any doubts here? Connector configuration or any doubts before that also?
There's no doubts as
Okay, okay, so the API is already running. So let me send a one sample message here. Yeah, so just a simple one, just give a publish flow start and then publish flow end. Okay, so with this, like, we have received a event, right? And we use the connector here for the this Azure Event Hub, set a single event operation. Okay, and it successfully sent to the Event Hub. Okay, if I go down, so we have a listener over here. Okay, who is listening to the namespace. Okay, and then it listened it, I mean it subscribed and then processed it. Okay, so here consumer group, I didn't create because we don't have an option to do that. It's a default one. Okay, for that you go to here, mm, event hubs, Kadapa meetup. Yeah, so event hub, if you go down, yeah, you see here consumer group only one, that is default one. Okay, another important note here is, like, while sending a event, right? So you should wrap in a, I mean, in the sense that, like, you should use body as one of the JSON element. Then you can send whatever you want to send it with, like, this within the body element only. And there is something like metadata also. There is one more like, JSON element is there. You can use that. If you send as like, what to say, without body element, so it will reject the message. Okay, where is the, yeah, somewhere here, single event, where is that? Yeah, so the event, if you look at here, the field is body, type is string, the body of the event, and the metadata. So you can send as an object also, but this is body is going to be a string. So if you send as is also, it will fail it. So you have to send it as a string message to the. So okay, let's say um, I'll keep as a body is like, payload only here. Let it get deployed. Yeah, it got deployed. Oh, still it is not it. Okay, it's deployed successfully now. Send. Okay, what it says? Illegal state exception. Okay, no read write handler for application. So we don't have any issues with, like, dating data, but it is saying no read write applications because of the how you send the, or, like, the payload in the body. See, this is the problem here, saying application customer portal, and this is a valid expression payload. So you should always, like, send it in a body element, and the metadata is, like, optional one. You have to send it in a within body element. Okay, and then whatever you send, like, the payload complete information you can send it. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, so it is like, you send, you receive a data and you send successfully send to the, like, Azure Event Hub. Okay, so let's say we have discussed about three groups, right? Analytics, security analytics, the reporting one. So in some point of time, if any of the application or three of them, they need a data, so like this Azure Event Hub can help you to replay the events, and they can further process it. Okay, uh, we're done. So any questions? Mm,
Yes, I have one question,
mhm,
Gopal, regarding this Azure. So you
mhm.
have been created storage and event everything, right? So whether it is going to store the in the storage the logs.
Yeah, so it will get stored. To be frank, like how it works in the Azure Event Hub, I'm not sure, because the more our point is about like integration. But I think it sits in the like the where first it will go to the partition. The data what we sent, it sets sure it will sit in the storage only.
Hmm. So any idea about like how where it will store in storage and what is the use cases we can able to do it? Any do you have any idea about that?
Um, no, so like
See,
let's say if you think about the Splunk also you can send it, right? That is a one application. Let's say if you think about like
Splunk Splunk have the all the use cases we can get it that, but in Azure Event Hub, so where we can use it and how we need to send and what are the details
no,
required.
sorry, okay, maybe I didn't tell you exactly like after sending to Event Hub. So what we are doing is that the question, right?
Yes,
How are we going to use it? Yeah, so
yes.
yeah, so here in the demo, as part of demo, so we have used the listener, right? Subscriber, the event
Hmm.
listener. You just for demo purpose, whatever I sent, I just consumed it. Okay, so in real time scenario, maybe I should have extended this sequence diagram, right? So one event is sent to multiple systems like the security dashboard audit, right? So in this case we may have like different, let's say the security monitoring is done by one system, analytics can be done by one system, audit repository done by one system. In this case, so Mule API has to consume. Okay, Mule API has to consume from security monitoring group and then send to that some downstream system who is do the who perform the security monitoring. Okay, let's say for analytics, right? Analytics we have different types of system. That's the third party, right? Someone will do the analytics. Okay, so that system. So what I don't know, so you send the data to like you got a data from source system and the Mule API received it and sent to the event hub here, right? So the event hub internally just like copied the same message to different consumers. So after this, our SAPis, especially either SAPis or PAPis based on the like design, right? Mostly the SAPi system, like Mule SAPi system API will consume from this event hub, like similarly like this what I shown in the here, right? So it is like there will be a one API who consumes it. It sends to the target system, like the security system or like analytics system. Okay,
Mhm.
uh,
So you mean to say analytics is a separate system and the monitoring is separate system. So each one we require the configuration, right? In Azure while we integrating with the MuleSoft.
no, so you for you it will be that's where like you see here the note is each consumer uses a unique consumer group, so all receives the same in them independent. So you will not go, you will not send to the different you will not send the message to the different consumer groups. You will send only one message to the event hub that will be copied to the different groups,
Mhm.
and then the different.
So
Mhm.
here we required only the business groups. Only the
Yeah.
required groups is enough,
Hmm.
and the storage is same.
Same, yeah.
And the client ID and client secret for the each group are different, right? No,
No, same only.
same, huh?
Yeah,
Okay. So by this we can store our logs into mules in Azure,
yeah, correct.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So see the it's the our agenda, or like the need of this Azure Event Hub is just not for storing, right? So it is like it will have the events, right? The streaming of the data. It's not like one system, right? So if you can store it, like if our requirement is to just store the logs, you can just simply use any simple systems like kind of Splunk. You can just store it and you can run the reports and all. But here, once you send data to the Azure, right? So Azure will help you to replicate the same message to the multiple groups, and then it can be processed to multiple systems also, and it the message will not be deleted here, right? So you can replay the message also.
Multiple messages it can pass it to multiple system,
uh
that we know that, but in in how much load it can afford in Azure.
that no idea about that one.
That's okay. And any idea about like Azure, like so it is like it's a cloud hub, right? Azure. So
Mm-hmm,
when we transforming data and integrating with the other systems through Azure,
mm-hmm.
so the how much it can take a request in the form of REST API or else XML or so so how many line items it can able to handle it, and which means
You mean to say size of the payload?
yeah, size of the payload. So as I know, Azure can handle very less payload. It can handle it.
Sorry, Ramna. Sorry, Venkat. Like, even I didn't explore the sizes and all. Okay.
Okay.
Basically, I mean, even like, when, especially, see, when you are going to use the large payloads, so even the Azure Event Hub says also, right? Like when I was explaining this, the table of details, especially here.
So
So,
and when we integrating through Azure, so it's also same characteristics of how we are integrating to MuleSoft, right? So why we need to use Azure, and what is the more benefits on Azure?
sorry, I didn't get. So,
See, it is also same transformation, right? So there is nothing extra features added in Azure.
okay, when you comparing with.
Yes, I'm comparing with MuleSoft. So MuleSoft can do everything with integrating with all the systems, right? So while we
No,
integrating to
this is not. This is not a just like this is not like just an integration with some system, like you just today we're talking about like integration with, yes, Azure Event Hub to Mule. This is like we like let's say if you want to perform or like what to say, the stream the events for a some so and so reason. Let's say you want to stream the large volumes of, not large volumes, huge volumes of the high throughput of messages I want to send to some system and process further. Okay, yes, Mule will connect to the Mule will help you to integrate with multiple system. It just along with the service, this Azure event also. Okay, so here let's say you Mule receives the data, right? It's sending to Azure system. Azure system will store it, and then it can help to process further also. So you can send the same system, same data, what to say. You mean to say that Mule can send to three systems, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so Mule will not store the data, right? So after 30 days or some so and so time, the logs will go away, and which will not help you to generate the any reports, anything, right?
Yes.
So then you don't have any way to retain that logs, means especially the log. This is even like, if you think about the MuleSoft audit logs, right? It will, I forgot the number. I did this event on this audit logging also, right? So let's say you created audit logging report. Okay, who is logging out, and what actions they're performing it. So Mule will store to up to certain time. After that time, the Mule will purge the data. You so really, if you're looking for the data to be stored in somewhere and manage it, obviously you have to send to some other system, then get the data.
So that's what I'm asking. See, that's what you are telling. The first question itself. So how much data throughput it can send from MuleSoft to Azure? That is my first question. How much pay? How much size it can able to handle it?
No, that I didn't explore, so I will explore.
Okay, okay. It's a good knowledge. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Venkat. Any other questions? Hope audience are not sleeping in the second half. Just one fun part here. So today we are at Kadapa MuleSoft meetup, right? If you make it a short form, it is KMM, right? So it is my MCA college name, which is in Tirupati, KMM.
You're
Okay.
from Tirupati.
No, I am from Anantapur. I did my MCA in Tirupati, KMM college.
Okay.
Are you from Tirupati?
No, no, no. I am from Telangana.
Telangana. Okay. Uh, Vandana, if you don't have any questions, any concerns from anyone, we can wrap up then.
Anyone have any questions? Please ask to Gopal. We have 5 more minutes. If you have any doubts after this session, also you can connect to Gopal. Okay,
Yeah.
on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the Gopal LinkedIn ID. You can paste it here, Gopal. Yeah.
Yeah. I just did that.